Today we will learn the meaning of congruence. Many times we see such figures around us, which are very similar to each other. Look at these two leaves. Is there any difference? Think. If you look carefully, you will find that they are exactly the same. If we place them on top of each other, they cover each other completely. One shape completely covers the other shape only in one condition. When the shape and size of both the objects are same. So such shapes that are completely equal in size and shape are called congruent shapes. The relation of two figures being congruent is called congruence, and we use this sign to show this relationship. Keep in mind that like 2D shapes, 3D shapes can also be congruent. For example, these two cones, which have equal size and shape, are therefore congruent. In this video, we will only discuss congruency of two-dimensional shapes. If we talk about these shapes, then here also you can see that the sizes and measurements of both are found exactly same. So both these shapes are also congruent. Now look at these two shapes of keys. Do you think that this is also congruent? Think. To find out, we will try to keep one shape properly on the other. As you can see, the two keys do not cover each other completely. That is, they are not equal in size and measure, so it is not congruent. We use this symbol to show that the two figures are not congruent. Now, by looking at the pictures given, find out which pictures show congruent shapes and which pictures do not have congruent shapes. Pause the video and solve it yourself. Can you tell that how can we make a congruent shape of a given shape? Think. Let us tell you. We can make it by trace copy and using carbon paper. With the help of geometry, we can draw a congruent shape of any shape by composition. Now let's examine the congruency of some shapes of geometry. Are two line segments always congruent? Think. Let us tell you. The lengths of line segments are limited. When the two line segments have the same length as here, the line segment AB is equal to 3 cm and the line segment CD is equal to 3 cm. Then they cover each other completely. In such a situation, they are congruent. If the lengths are not the same, say the line segment EF and that is equal to 3 cm and the line segment GH that is equal to 5 cm, then they do not completely cover each other. So in such a case, two line segments are said to be not congruent. And we write it as this. Therefore, the congruency of the line segments is checked only on the basis of their length. No matter what the position of the line segments are, if the lengths of the line segments are equal, then they are congruent. On the contrary, we can also say that if two line segments are congruent, then their lengths are equal. Now let's talk about congruency of angles. Look at these two angles. Both measure 30 degrees. Are these congruent? Let's find out. We will create angle PQR on trace paper and place it on angle AOB. On adjusting, we see that vertex Q is covering vertex O, arm QP to arm OB, and the arm QR completely covers the arm OA. This shows that both the angles are congruent. That is, angle PQR is congruent to angle AOB. Now suppose the length of OB was more than the length of QP, then in such a situation, angle PQR and angle AOB would be congruent? Think. Keep in mind, it does not matter what the lengths of the sides of the angles are. If the measurements of the angles are equal, then the angles are called congruent. That is, the congruence of angles is based on the measurement of angles. That is, if two angles are equal, then they are congruent. On the contrary, we can say that if two angles are congruent, then their measurements are equal. If the two angles whose measurements are not equal, they cannot be placed one above the other in any way, so that the vertices and sides of one angle are exactly on the vertices and sides of the other. In such a situation, two angles cannot be congruent. In the next video, we will understand the congruence of triangles in details. Today we learnt the meaning of congruence. In the next video, we will learn congruence of triangles. Today we will learn congruence of triangles. Suppose we draw two triangles, triangle BCD and triangle OPQ from the same set square. Since both are drawn by the same set squares, we can say that their shape and size are equal.
We know that when two figures are similar in size and shape, then they are congruent. In this way, triangle BCD and triangle OPQ are congruent. If we cut these triangles, then their congruency can be checked by placing them one on top of the other. But we cannot place them one on top of the other as we wish. We also have to adjust them properly, keeping them one on top of the other so that they cover each other accurately.
But here, it is possible only when we place vertex B on O, vertex C on vertex P, and vertex D on vertex Q. Only when doing so, triangle BCD completely covers triangle OPQ. And it is clear that triangle BCD and triangle OPQ are congruent. In this way, in the context of congruency, we need to take care of matching or correspondence of the parts of the triangle. For example, here the correspondence of the vertex is as follows: B correspondence O, C correspondence P, D correspondence Q. These are the vertices that cover each other completely. Similarly, here we can see the correspondence of the sides as well, which we will show as BC correspondence OP, CD correspondence PQ, and BD correspondence OQ. Similarly, here we can also see the correspondence of angles, which we can show in this way. Angle B correspondence angle O, angle C correspondence angle P, and angle D correspondence angle Q. We can also show all these in an easy way in this way. BCD correspondence OPQ. All these correspondence we indicate in short with this sign congruent or congruency. We take care of matches or correspondence when showing the relation of congruency. Therefore, we can show the congruency of the given triangles in this way. Triangle BCD is congruent to triangle OPQ. Triangle CDB is congruent to triangle PQO. Triangle DBC is congruent to triangle QOP because corresponding parts of triangles are taken into consideration. But with respect to congruency, we cannot show in this way because corresponding parts of triangle are not taken into considerations. That is, if we try to put the vertex B on the top of vertex P, the vertex C on the top of vertex Q, and the vertex D on the top of vertex O, then we know that the two triangles do not cover each other. By understanding correspondence, we can find out which corresponding vertices, corresponding angles, and corresponding sides are in congruent triangles. Looking at these correspondence, we can tell that here are the pairs of corresponding vertices: vertex B and vertex O, vertex C and vertex P, and vertex D and vertex Q. Pairs of corresponding angles are angle B and angle O, angle C and angle P, and angle D and angle Q. Similarly, there are pairs of corresponding sides BC and OP, CD and PQ, and BD and OQ. When two figures, such as two triangles, triangle BCD and triangle OPQ, are congruent, in such a case the corresponding parts are equal. Therefore, we can say that angle B is equal to angle O, angle C is equal to angle P, and angle D is equal to angle Q. Similarly, the side BC is equal to side OP, side CD is equal to side PQ, and side BD is equal to side OQ. Now suppose triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Can you tell what are the corresponding vertices, corresponding sides, and corresponding angles in both triangles? Find it yourself. In each case, we cannot find out whether both triangles are congruent or not by placing one triangle on the other. In such a situation, the restrictions of congruency of triangles help us. We will learn them in the upcoming video. So today we learned the congruency of triangles. In the next video, we will see examples related to congruency. Today we will see examples related to congruency. Example 1. Two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle YZX, are congruent by matching or correspondence. Find all their corresponding congruent parts. We are given that the summation ABC is matching with YZX and triangle ABC is congruent with triangle YZX. ABC is matching with YZX when the vertices ABC of triangle ABC are placed on vertices YZX of triangle YZ and X in the same order, then they cover each other completely. Hence, the corresponding congruent vertices are A is matching with Y, B is matching with Z, and C is matching with X. When the arms AB, BC, and AC of triangles ABC are kept over YZ, ZX, and YX of triangle YZX, then they cover each other completely. So the corresponding congruent sides of two triangles are AB is matching with YZ, BC is matching with ZX, and AC is matching with YX. Will you now be able to find the corresponding congruent angles of triangle ABC and triangle YZX? Think. Let us tell you. Their corresponding congruent angles will be A is matching with Y, B is matching with Z, and C is matching with X. Example 2. If triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DBC and ABC is matching with DBC, find the measure of angle A in the following figure. Here, ABC is matching with DBC and triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DBC under this combination. Here, angle A and angle D are the corresponding angles of congruent triangles. Triangle ABC and triangle DBC. Can you tell what the relationship between these angles will be? Think. Absolutely correct. Since the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal, we can say that the corresponding angles of congruent triangles, angle A and angle D, will also be congruent. You must remember that the sum of all angles of any triangle is 180 degrees. So in triangle DBC, angle DBC plus angle DCB plus angle D is equal to 180 degrees. Here, angle DBC is equal to angle DCB is equal to 70 degrees. Therefore, 70 degrees plus 70 degrees plus angle D is equal to 180 degrees. Angle D is equal to 180 degrees minus 70 degrees plus 70 degrees. Angle D is equal to 180 degrees minus 140 degrees. Angle D is equal to 40 degrees. Because angle D is equal to 40 degrees, and according to the first statement, angle A is congruent to angle D, therefore, we can say that angle A is equal to 40 degrees. Today we saw examples related to congruency. In the next video, we will learn about some misconceptions related to same. Today we will see the misconceptions related to congruency.
Misconception 1.
The teacher drew the following figure on the board and asked the children, "Are the following line segments congruent?" To which Meera replied, "No," whereas Natasha replied, "Yes." Find out who gave the correct answer. When teaching congruency of line segments, parallel line segments are used to show that the line segments are equal. Because of this, it becomes a misconception of children that two line segments are congruent only when their lengths are equal and they are parallel. With this understanding, they think that the given line segment is not congruent. Hence, they consider Meera's answer to be correct and select option 2. But option 2 is an incorrect answer. The correct understanding is that it is wrong to see whether they are parallel to check the congruency of the line segments. So, here if one line segment is placed on another line segment, then we see that both line segments overlap with each other. Therefore, it is decided by length only whether they are congruent or not. Here the lengths of both line segments are the same. So, given line segments are congruent. That is why Natasha has given the correct answer. That is option 1 is the correct answer.
Misconception 2.
See the angles given below to find out whether they are congruent or not. Some children see that the
Length of arms and
orientation of angle PQR and angle XYZ are different. So they understand that the given angle is not congruent. So they select option 1, which is wrong answer. The correct understanding is that if the measurements of the angles are the same, then they are congruent, no matter how long the lengths of their arms are or how the position is. Here, angle PQR and angle XYZ measure both these angles at 50 degrees. Hence, angle PQR is congruent to angle XYZ. Here, option 2 is the correct answer to this question.
Misconception 3.
Are the triangles given below congruent or not? Some children notice that the angles of both the triangles have equal measures, so they think that the given triangles are congruent. And they select option 1 as their answer. Let's find out the answer given by them is right or wrong. If we place one triangle on another triangle, we will find that they do not completely cover each other, even if the corresponding angles are equal. So can we call them congruent? Think. No. Therefore, option 1 is the wrong answer. The correct understanding is that two triangles are congruent when their corresponding angles and corresponding sides are equal, and the corresponding vertices come right over each other. Since the lengths of the sides are not equal here, so here triangle XYZ is not congruent to triangle ABC. That is, the correct answer to the question given is option 2. So today we saw some misconceptions related to congruency.
Today we will learn about the SSS criteria for congruence of triangles. You know that when we place one figure over the other in a manner that one covers the other completely, it means they are of the same shape and size. Such objects are said to be congruent. Look at the two triangles here. When we place one over the other, we observe that they cover each other completely. So both the triangles are congruent. In geometry, certain criteria are used to determine the congruency of two triangles. Today, we will discuss the SSS criterion. Let's understand this in an interesting way. Suppose we have triangle ABC, where AB is equal to 5 cm, BC is equal to 4 cm and AC is equal to 7 cm. And we have to draw a triangle PQR congruent to triangle ABC. Will we be able to form a triangle PQR congruent to triangle ABC by keeping just one corresponding side equal? Think for a while. Let me explain. We can draw triangle PQR in different ways by keeping only one side AB equal to PQ. But it is still not sufficient enough to form a unique triangle PQR. It is difficult to say whether triangle PQR is congruent to triangle ABC or not. Therefore, it is not possible to form the congruent triangle PQR to triangle ABC by keeping only one corresponding side equal. Similarly, if we keep two corresponding sides equal, will we be able to draw triangle PQR congruent to triangle ABC? Think for a while. Let me tell you, if we keep the side AB equal to PQ and the side BC equal to QR, then we can draw triangle PQR in different ways. But it is still not sufficient enough to form a unique triangle PQR. So we can say triangle PQR is not congruent to triangle ABC. Therefore, keeping two corresponding sides equal will not give us triangle PQR congruent to triangle ABC. Now let's verify if we keep three corresponding sides equal, will we get triangle PQR congruent to triangle ABC or not? To draw triangle PQR, we have PQ is equal to AB is equal to 5 cm, QR is equal to BC is equal to 4 cm, and PR is equal to AC is equal to 7 cm. First, we will draw the line PQ with length 5 cm. Now, we have to find the location of point R, but the condition is that PR should be 7 cm long and QR should be 4 cm long. So tell me, how will you get to find the location of point R? Think for a while. You got it right. For this purpose, we will use a compass. To find the position of point R, we will take the distance of 4 cm with the compass and draw an arc by placing the pointed end on Q. Each point of this arc represents a distance of 4 cm from Q. Then, taking a distance of 7 cm with the compass, we will place the pointed end on P and draw another arc cutting the first arc. The point of intersection of the two arcs will be the point R, which is at a distance of 4 cm from Q and 7 cm from P. Now we will join it with P. If we place triangle ABC on triangle PQR, we observe that they cover each other completely, which means that both triangles have the same size and shape. Hence, both triangles are congruent. Thus, we can say that if the three sides of a triangle are equal to the three corresponding sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. This condition of congruency of triangles is called as the side-side-side criterion, or in short, the SSS criterion. Now, there are two triangles, triangle DEF and triangle MNO shown here. Can you now find out whether the given pair of triangles are congruent? Pause the video and find out. Let me tell you. We can see that in triangle DEF and triangle MNO, DE is equal to MN, EF is equal to NO, and DF is equal to MO. That is, their corresponding sides are equal. So, by SSS congruence rule, triangle DEF and triangle MNO are congruent triangles. Now, if we talk about triangle GHI and triangle JKL, then here GH is equal to JK and HI is equal to KL. But the third corresponding side GI and JL are not equal. Hence, SSS congruence rule is not applied, which concludes that triangle GHI and triangle JKL are not congruent. By now, you must have understood the SSS congruence rule thoroughly. Today we learned SSS criteria for congruence of triangles. In the next video, we will see some examples related to this. Today we will see some examples related to the SSS criteria for congruence of triangles. The given figure shows PQ is equal to SR and PR is equal to SQ. Is triangle PQR congruent to triangle SRQ? Give reasons. We are given that in triangle PQR and triangle SRQ, PQ is equal to SR and PR is equal to SQ. We can also see that the side QR is common in both triangles. You will remember that if the three sides of one triangle are equal to the three corresponding sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. This condition is called side-side-side criterion. In detail, we would call it as SSS criterion. Here, the triangles are congruent under the correspondence. We can say that triangle PQR and triangle SRQ are congruent. Next example. State which pair of triangles in the following figure is congruent under the SSS criterion. By the SSS congruence rule, if the corresponding sides of two triangles are equal, then those triangles are congruent. Consider the first pair of triangles, that is, triangle ABC and triangle QRP. AB is equal to QR is equal to 5 cm, BC is equal to RP is equal to 8 cm, and AC is equal to QP is equal to 7 cm. Since all three sides of triangle ABC are equal to the corresponding sides of triangle QRP, hence, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle QRP. Now, let's talk about the second pair, that is triangle DEF and triangle JKL. Here, EF is equal to KL is equal to 7 cm. DF is equal to JL is equal to 6 cm. But DE is equal to 4 cm and JK is equal to 5 cm. That is, DE is not equal to JK. Since here, one side of triangle DEF is not equal to the corresponding side of triangle JKL, hence, triangle DEF is not congruent to triangle JKL. Therefore, only the first pair of triangles, that is, triangle ABC and triangle QRP, are congruent under SSS criterion. Next example. If triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DCB, find the lengths of all sides of triangle DCB. Here, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DCB. Therefore, in this case, the correspondence is, we may write this as ABC is similar to DCB. When two triangles are congruent, then their corresponding parts are equal. Therefore, AB is equal to DC, and since the length of AB is 2.1 cm, DC will also have the same length as 2.1 cm. And AC is equal to DB, and AC is 3.7 cm in length, so the length of DB will also be 3.7 cm. With this, we are already given the length of BC, which is 2.3 cm. Thus, we have found the length of all sides of triangle DCB. Today we saw examples related to SSS criteria for congruence of triangles. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions related to it. Today we will see some common misconceptions related to SSS criteria for congruence of triangles and one common mistake. Misconception 1. In the given figure, state which pairs of triangles are congruent. Some students fail to understand the SSS congruence rule properly. They believe that SSS congruence rule is true only for an equilateral triangle. In the first figure, they say that both triangles are equilateral triangles, and in the second figure, they see that the triangles are not equilateral triangles, so they misjudge that only the triangles in figure 1 are congruent. With this understanding, they select option 1, which is an incorrect answer. The correct understanding is that when the sides of a triangle are equal to the corresponding sides of the other triangle, the two triangles are called congruent triangles. This condition of congruency of triangles is called side-side-side criterion, or in short, SSS criterion. In the first figure, all the sides of the two triangles are 3 cm in length, so the triangles in the first figure are congruent. If we talk about the second figure, OM is equal to PQ is equal to 3 cm, MN is equal to QR is equal to 4 cm, NO is equal to RP is equal to 5 cm. Hence, all three corresponding sides of triangle OMN and triangle PQR are also equal. Therefore, both triangles shown in figure 2 are also congruent. Triangle OMN is congruent to triangle PQR. With this understanding, the correct answer is option 2. Misconception 2. Are triangle PQR and triangle XYZ congruent or not? Some students see that the positions of the given triangles are different. They fail to notice that the lengths of their corresponding sides are equal. With this understanding, they believe that the given triangles are not congruent, so they select option 2, which is the wrong answer. The correct understanding is that when the corresponding sides of two triangles are equal, they are congruent under the SSS criterion. Here, in triangle PQR and triangle XYZ, PQ is equal to XY, QR is equal to YZ, and RP is equal to ZX. The corresponding sides of both triangles are equal, so they are congruent. Hence, option 1 is the correct answer. Now let's understand the common mistakes children make. When students learn that two triangles can be congruent by the side-side-side criterion, they wrongly begin to believe that two triangles can also be congruent with angle-angle-angle criterion. This misconception is termed as AAA criterion. Let us discuss whether this understanding is right or wrong. You know that all sides of an equilateral triangle are equal and each angle measures 60 degrees. Let's attempt to draw an equilateral triangle. We will draw a line segment BC of length 5 cm. Then, using the same length equal to line segment BC in the compass, we will draw an arc from B. Keeping the same length in the compass, we will make another arc cutting the first arc from C. A is the point of intersection of the arcs, and joining the points A to B and C, we obtain the triangle ABC. If we measure its angles with the protractor, we will find all angles are 60 degrees. Can we draw an equilateral triangle whose side is of length 6 cm? Think for a while. If we draw a triangle PQR using the method given above, we will get an equilateral triangle. If we measure the angles of this triangle, we will observe that all angles measure 60 degrees. We can see that all angles of both triangle ABC and triangle PQR are 60 degrees. So, are they congruent? Think for a while. No, Because the lengths of their corresponding sides are not equal. Therefore, no two triangles can be called congruent solely on the basis of the measure of their angles. Therefore, the congruency of two triangles cannot be checked by the AAA criterion. Similarly, by looking at these pairs of triangles, you will be able to find out that even if the corresponding angles are equal, they are not congruent. Today we saw some misconceptions and a common mistake related to the SSS criteria for the congruence of triangles.
Today we will learn SAS criteria for congruence of triangle.
You may remember that two triangles are congruent if they are copies of each other such that shape and measurement of both the triangles are equal and when superposed, they cover each other exactly.
In previous video, we have discussed about SSS congruency. Now we will discuss SAS congruency. Suppose we want to draw a triangle ABC. Length of AB is equal to 6 cm. By knowing the length of one side only, will you be able to draw a unique triangle ABC? Try to think. Let us tell you, we can draw different types of triangle ABC, but we cannot get a unique triangle ABC. Suppose if AB is equal to 6 cm and angle ABC is equal to 35 degree. Now can we draw a unique triangle ABC? Try to think. Let us tell you, based on the measurement given, we can draw different types of triangle ABC as given below. Hence, in this situation also, we can draw different types of triangle ABC, but we cannot get a unique triangle ABC. This is because C point doesn't have a fixed place, so for drawing triangle ABC, proper information is not given. But if the length of two sides and angle between them is given, then we can draw a unique triangle. Suppose AB is equal to 6 cm, angle ABC is equal to 35 degree and BC is equal to 5 cm is given. In this situation, we will draw a line segment AB is equal to 6 cm. Then by using protractor, we will draw angle ABC is equal to 35 degree. Draw an arc of radius 5 cm with B as the center to cut the arm at point C. Now, join point A to C to draw triangle ABC. By using the same measurement, we will get the congruent triangles in each situation. We use this knowledge to check the congruency of triangles. If under a correspondence, two sides and the angle included between them of a triangle are equal to two corresponding sides and the angle included between them of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. This congruence criteria is known as SAS congruence criteria, means side-angle-side congruence of triangles. Here two triangles are given. In triangle ABC, side AC is equal to 5.8 cm, side AB is equal to 2.5 cm
an angle BAC is equal to 110 degree. In triangle MNO, side MO is equal to 5.8 centimeter, side MN is equal to 2.5 centimeter, and angle NMO is equal to 110 degree.
Corresponding two sides and the including angle of triangle ABC is equal to triangle MNO. Hence, both the triangles are congruent. When superposed, both the triangles cover each other completely. Hence, it proves that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle MNO by SAS congruence criteria of triangles.
Let us see these two triangles. In triangle ABC, side AC is equal to 5.8 cm, side AB is equal to 2.5 cm, and angle BAC is equal to 110 degree. In triangle PQR, side PQ is equal to 5.8 cm, side PR is equal to 2.5 cm, and angle PRQ is equal to 110 degree. But these two triangles are not congruent. Can you tell the reason for it? Try to think. Absolutely right. Because in angle PRQ, the angle is not between the side PQ and PR. Angle PRQ is not the included angle between the sides PQ and PR. By this, we can see that corresponding angle BAC is not equal to angle PRQ. If under correspondence, two sides and the angle included between them of two triangles are equal, then the triangles are congruent. So, here corresponding angles are not equal, hence SAS congruence rule cannot be applied. Now you have developed the understanding of the SAS congruence criteria. Today we have learnt about the SAS congruence criteria. In the next video, we will solve some examples of it. Today we will see some interesting examples related to SAS criteria for congruence of triangles. In triangle ABC, if line segment AO is drawn as perpendicular bisector on line segment BC,
Then is AB is equal to AC.
it is always helpful to draw a rough figure to solve these type of questions. We are given that line segment AO is perpendicular bisector of line segment BC. Try to think, what does this mean? Let us tell you. It means that line segment AO makes right angle with line segment BC and also bisect BC in two equal parts. So by this, O is midpoint of BC. Based on the given information, we can draw a rough figure of triangle ABC. In triangle ABO and triangle ACO, we can see that OB is equal to OC cause O is midpoint of BC. AO is equal to AO because common side of triangle ABO and triangle ACO. Angle AOB is equal to angle AOC is equal to 90 degree cause AO is perpendicular bisector of line segment BC. By this, we can conclude them corresponding. So by SAS criteria, we can say that triangle ABO is congruent to triangle ACO. Corresponding sides of congruent triangles are also congruent, so AB is equal to AC. Can you write all congruent sides and angles? Try yourself. In the given figure,
whether ADC is congruent to CBA or not. We can see in triangle ADC and triangle CBA, CD is equal to AB, AC is equal to AC because AC is common side. Angle ACD is equal to angle CAB. You can see two corresponding sides and angle between them of triangle ADC are equal to two corresponding sides and angle between them of triangle CBA. Hence, by SAS congruency, we can say that both the triangles are congruent. Here, correspondents are. So here, triangle ADC is congruent to triangle CBA. Today we have seen some examples related to SAS criteria for congruence of triangles. In next video, we will clear some myths related to them. Today we will see some misconceptions and common errors related to the SAS criterion of congruence of triangles. Misconception 1. Which pair of triangles are congruent under SAS criterion of congruence? Some children may not get the right understanding of SAS criteria. Children see that both the triangles of the first figure have two sides equal and one angle equal. Similarly, the second figure also has two sides and one angle equal. Therefore, they think that the triangles shown in both the shapes are congruent under the SAS criteria. So they select option 2, but this is an incorrect answer. Keep in mind that the two congruent sides in the two triangles must be equal and the angle between them must also be equal. Only then we can say that those two triangles are congruent. The corresponding arms in the first figure are equal, but no information is given about the angle between them. In this figure, angle B and angle Y are equal, but they are not the angle between the two corresponding sides. Therefore, the SAS criteria cannot be used here. Therefore, we can say that whether the two triangles shown in the first figure are congruent or not, the two corresponding sides of the triangles shown in the second figure and the angle between them are equal. So, both these triangles are congruent under the SAS criteria. Hence, the correct answer is option 1. Misconception 2. In the triangle ABC and triangle PQR shown, AB is equal to PR, BC is equal to PQ, and angle B is equal to angle P. Then which of the following statements is true? Children see that the two triangles have corresponding sides and the angle between them equal. So they think that the given triangle is congruent with the SAS congruency criteria. But they don't correctly name the triangles as per the criteria of congruency. Children find it easy to write the name of the triangle in the alphabetical order of the letters of English. So they show the congruency of these two triangles by writing triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR in this way. But this is a wrong answer. Here the children have not taken care of the correspondence. Hence, option 1 is the wrong answer. The correct understanding is that both the triangles are congruent only when the B is at the P, the A at the R, and the C at the Q. As given in the question that in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, AB is equal to PR, BC is equal to PQ, and angle B is equal to angle P. This correspondence can be established. B is equal to P, A is equal to R, and C is equal to Q. The relation of the congruency of the triangles is indicated by taking the correspondence into consideration. Like here, we can write triangle CAB is congruent to triangle QRP, so the correct answer here is option 2. Keeping in mind the correspondence, we regard the congruency as triangle BAC is congruent to triangle PRQ. Triangle ABC is congruent to RPQ. Triangle BCA is congruent to triangle PQR or any other way. Let's see a common error. If children are asked whether the following triangle is congruent or not, then children see that both triangles look alike, so they give the answer, yes. But it is wrong to do so. In geometry, a concept is clarified not on the basis of recognition but on the basis of true facts. The two triangles are definitely visible here, but we have no proper facts to explain that they are congruent. Therefore, we can't say here whether the two triangles are congruent or not. Yes, if we were given that the corresponding sides and angles between the two triangles are equal, then we could say, under the SAS criteria, that both the triangles are congruent. So keep in mind that always use logic in geometry, not the recognition or perception. Today we have seen some misconceptions and common errors related to the SAS criterion for congruence of triangles.
Today we will learn about the ASA criteria for congruence of triangles. You know by now that when one figure is placed over the other in such a way that it covers the other figure completely and exactly, it means that the two figures are of the same shape and the same size, and such figures are said to be congruent. In the previous video, we learned the SAS congruence criteria of triangles. Now we will understand the ASA criteria for congruence of triangles. Suppose we have to draw triangle ABC. If you are given the length of the side AB as 6 cm, will you be able to draw a unique triangle ABC using the length of only one side? Think for a while. Let me tell you. With this information, we can draw any number of triangles, triangle ABC, but it will not help us create a unique triangle. Consider this. If you're given the length of side AB as 6 cm and the measure of angle ABC 35 degree, will you now be able to produce a unique triangle? Think for a while. Let me explain. In this case also, we can draw any number of triangles, triangle ABC. But again, we will not be able to produce a unique triangle. Now, if we know the measurement of two angles and the length of the side included between them, then we can definitely produce a unique triangle. Suppose we are given angle A is equal to 35 degree, angle B is equal to 75 degree, and AB is equal to 6 cm. Then we can easily form a unique triangle ABC. In this case, first we will draw a line segment AB with length 6 cm. Next, with the help of a protractor, we will draw angle A which measures 35 degree. Then using the protractor again, we will draw angle B which measures 75 degree. From this, we will get point C as well as triangle ABC. No matter how many times we attempt to draw triangle ABC from the given measurements, In each case, we will get a congruent triangle. With this understanding, we can form another rule to check the congruency of triangles, which states, if under a correspondence, two angles and the included side of a triangle are equal to two corresponding angles and the included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. This condition of congruency is called angle-side-angle criterion, or in short ASA criterion. Like here, we have two triangles. The triangle ABC has angle B is equal to 130 degree, angle C is equal to 30 degree, and the length of the included side BC is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Similarly, in triangle MNO, we have angle O is equal to 130 degree, angle N is equal to 30 degree, and the length of the included side ON is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Since the two angles, angle B and angle C of triangle ABC, and the included side BC are equal to the two corresponding angles, angle O and angle N, and the included side ON of the second triangle MNO, both the triangles are congruent if we place one triangle over the other and adjust. We will observe that they cover each other completely and exactly. This verifies that they are congruent. Here, we can show the correspondence in this way. B is correspondent to O, C is correspondent to N, A is correspondent to M. We can write the congruence relation in symbolic form as triangle BCA is congruent to triangle ONM. Can the relation of congruency be shown only in this way? Think for a while. No, we can show it in different ways. But it is important to pay attention to correspondence when showing this relationship. Look at these two triangles. In triangle ABC, we have angle B is equal to 130 degree, angle C is equal to 30 degree, and the length of the included side BC is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Similarly, in triangle PQR, we have angle Q is equal to 135 degree, angle R is equal to 30 degree, and the included side QR is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Can we say that both triangles are congruent? Think for a while. Absolutely right. We cannot call them congruent because angle C is equal to angle R. Side BC is equal to side QR. But angle B is not equal to angle Q, which means we cannot use the ASA criterion here. Therefore, here both triangles are not congruent. Even if we place one triangle over the other, no matter how well adjusted it is, they will not cover each other completely and exactly. This verifies that they are not congruent. By now, you must have understood the ASA congruence rule. Today we learned about the ASA criteria for congruence of triangles. In the next video, we will solve some examples related to them. Today we will see some examples related to ASA criteria of congruence in triangles. In the given figure, the ray QS bisects angle PQR as well as angle PSR. Is triangle PQS congruent to triangle RQS? Here we have to find out whether triangle PQS is congruent to triangle RQS or not. We have been given ray QS bisects angle PQR. We know that the bisector of an angle divides the angle into two equal parts. With this understanding, we can say that angle PQS is equal to angle RQS. Similarly, ray QS also bisects angle PSR. Therefore, we can say that angle RSQ is equal to angle PSQ. Now, in triangle PQS and triangle RQS, angle PQS is equal to angle RQS, since they are the angles formed by the bisector QS. QS is equal to QS, since this is the common side of triangle PQS and triangle RQS. Similarly, angle PSQ is equal to angle RSQ because they are the angles formed by the bisector QS. Since two angles, angle PQS and angle PSQ, and the included side QS of triangle PQS are equal to the corresponding angles angle RQS and angle RSQ, and the included side QS of the second triangle, triangle RQS. Therefore, under the ASA congruence criterion, both these triangles are congruent. Under the correspondence, P is correspondent to R, Q is correspondent to Q, S is correspondent to S, and PQS is correspondent to RQS. Therefore, we can say that triangle PQS is congruent to triangle RQS. Always remember to pay attention to correspondence while showing the congruence relation. Next example. In the given figure, we have KL and ON are parallel and KL is equal to ON. Then, is triangle KLM congruent to triangle NMO? We have been given KL and ON are parallel and KL is equal to ON. Let's talk about triangle KLM and triangle NMO. We observe that the line segment KL is parallel to the line segment ON. And here we can consider OL as the transversal of both. You are aware that when a transversal line cuts two parallel lines, then the alternate interior angles formed are equal as depicted. Here, angle L is equal to angle O because it is a pair of alternate interior angles formed by the transversal line of the parallel lines. Angle K is equal to angle N because it is also a pair of alternate interior angles formed by the transversal line of the parallel lines, and we are given KL is equal to ON. Since here two angles, angle K and angle L, and the included side KL of triangle KML are equal to the two corresponding angles angle N and angle O, and the included side ON of the second triangle NMO. Therefore, under ASA congruence criterion, both these triangles are congruent. Here is the correspondence. K is correspondent to N, L is correspondent to O, M is correspondent to M. But If we look at the given relation of congruence, it gives us the following correspondence. Here, the correspondence of both the conditions are not satisfied. Hence, triangle KLM is not congruent to triangle NMO. Can you tell us how we can write the correct relation of congruence? Think for a while. Absolutely right. We can write it in any of the following ways. In the same manner, try to establish the congruence in different ways. Today we saw some examples related to ASA criteria of congruence in triangles. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions related to them. Today we will see some misconceptions related to the ASA criteria for congruence of triangles. Misconception 1. In the given figure, line segment LO and line segment KN intersect at point M. Are triangle KLM and triangle NOM congruent under the ASA congruence rule? Find out. In the given figure, one angle of triangle KLM and triangle NOM are equal. That is, angle L is equal to angle O. And the sides of both triangles are also equal. That is, LM is equal to OM. But since the measurement of the other angles are not shown, some students believe that both triangles, triangle KLM and triangle NOM, are not congruent under the ASA congruence rule. But this is a wrong assumption. Therefore, option 1 is the wrong answer. Here, based on the information provided, they fail to establish a relation between the angles or sides of a triangle. In the figure given here, line segment LO and line segment KN intersect at point M. You are aware that the intersection of two lines gives us vertically opposite angles, and vertically opposite angles are equal. So here we can say that angle OMN is equal to angle KML. Here we observe that angle L and angle M and the included side LM of triangle KLM are equal to the two corresponding angles angle O and angle M and the included side OM of triangle NOM. So under the ASA congruence rule, we can say that triangle KLM and triangle NOM are congruent. Hence, option 2 is the correct answer. Today we saw some misconceptions related to ASA criteria for congruence of triangles.
Today we will learn RHS theorem of congruency of triangles. In this video, we will learn a fun rule of checking the congruency of two right-angled triangles. Suppose we have to make a triangle ABC whose one angle, like B, is a right angle. Will we be able to construct a unique triangle from this information? Give it a thought. From this information, we can make different types of triangles which are not the same size. That is, the information given is insufficient. With this, if you are given a measurement of an arm forming the right angle, such as BC is equal to 6 centimeter, will you be able to construct a unique triangle? In this case also, we will get different types of triangles. Now suppose you are given the measurement of the side and the hypotenuse of a right-angled arm. Will you now be able to construct a unique triangle? Pause the video and create triangle ABC, which has angle B is equal to 90 degree, BC is equal to 6 centimeter, and AC is equal to 10 centimeter. Let us tell you. For this, we will draw a line segment BC, which is 6 centimeter in length. Then we will draw a right angle from point B to BC with the help of a protractor. A will be positioned on this ray. Can you tell how we will find the position of A? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. Since here AC is equal to 10 centimeter, we will open the compass 10 centimeters, place its pointed end on C, and draw an arc cutting this ray. Intersection of arc and ray is the vertex of triangle ABC, that is, A. We will complete the construction of right-angled ABC by connecting A to C. Can you make different types of triangle ABC from given measurements of different sizes? Try pausing the video. You will get equal-sized triangles in each case. That is, you will get congruent triangles. From this we know that if the measurement of a side and hypotenuse of a right triangle is given, then a unique triangle is formed. With this understanding, we can get another rule for checking congruency of triangles. Can you tell me what will it be? Give it a thought. Come on. Absolutely right. If under a congruence, the hypotenuse and one arm of a right-angled triangle are equal to the hypotenuse and one arm of another right-angled triangle respectively, then those triangles are congruent. For example, here are two right-angled triangles, triangle PQR and triangle LMN, with angle Q is equal to angle M is equal to 90 degrees. The side being PQ is equal to LM is equal to 5 centimeter and the hypotenuse PR is equal to LN is equal to 13 centimeter. If one of these triangles is placed on the other, then we will be able to see that it completely covers the other triangle. That is, both of them have equal size and shape. In geometry, we say that triangle PQR and triangle LMN are congruent. Here the congruency is as such that it tells us that PQR is congruent to LMN. Therefore, the relation of congruency can be written as triangle PQR is congruent to triangle LMN. Now let's talk about triangle PQR and triangle EFG. Among these, angle Q is equal to angle F is equal to 90 degrees. The side PQ is equal to EF is equal to 5 centimeter. But the hypotenuse of triangle PQR is 13 centimeter, while the hypotenuse EG of triangle EFG is 15 centimeter. If one of these triangles is placed on the other, then we will see that one triangle cannot completely cover the other triangle. That is, the size and shape of these two are not equal. Therefore, in this case, triangle PQR and triangle EFG are not congruent. So now you must have understood that with RHS congruency theorem, you can check the congruency of any two right-angled triangles. Today we learned the RHS theorem of congruency of triangles. In the next video, we will see some more interesting examples of these. Today we will see some interesting examples related to the RHS theorem of congruency of triangles. Example 1. Observe the following figure and find out whether triangle ADB and triangle BDC are congruent. If it is, write their congruence relation. We must use one of the theorems, that is SSS, SAS, ASA or RHS to test the congruency. Can you tell which theorem would be correct to use here? Give it a thought. Let us tell you. For this, we will first understand the given information. In the given figure, both triangle ADB and triangle BDC are right-angled triangles, in which we are given angle ADB is equal to angle CBD is equal to 90 degrees. At the same time, we have also been given that hypotenuse AB of triangle ADB and the hypotenuse CD of triangle BDC both measures 7 centimeters. That is, AB is equal to CD. Do you realize anything else by looking at the given figure? Give it a thought. Absolutely correct. The side BD in both these triangles is common. That is, BD is equal to BD shows us that the hypotenuse of these two right-angled triangles is equal and one arm is equal. So here we can say that triangle ADB and triangle BDC are congruent with the RHS theorem. So, let us symbolically write the relation of their congruence. Can we write this as triangle ADB is congruent to triangle BDC? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. We cannot write it like this. In order to be properly indicated in a symbolic way, we have to understand the relation of congruency. Here, angle ADB is equal to angle CBD is equal to 90 degrees. In this way, we can say that the vertex D corresponds vertex B. Here, AB is equal to CD. And at first, we concluded that the head of vertex D is corresponding to B. Hence, we can say that the vertex A corresponds the vertex C. Similarly, we can represent that vertex B corresponds vertex D. In short, we can say that DAB corresponds to BCD. With the help of these, it can be said that triangle DAB is congruent to triangle BCD. Keeping in mind the relations, we can also show the congruency of these two triangles in the following way. Next example. In the following figure, if AB is equal to BC, YB is equal to BZ. So, with the help of RHS congruency theorem, verify that angle Y is equal to angle Z by looking at the given figure and reading the question properly. We get the following information. Triangle YAB and triangle BCZ are two right-angled triangles, In the question, we are given that sides YB is equal to side BZ and the side AB is equal to side BC. We know that the concept of the RHS congruency theorem is that if under a congruence, the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle and one side are equal to the hypotenuse and one side of another right-angled triangle respectively, then those triangles are congruent. From this we can say that triangle YAB and triangle BCZ are congruent under RHS congruency theorem. Here, vertex Y is corresponding to the vertex Z. Vertex A is corresponding to the vertex C. Vertex B corresponds the vertex B. That is, YAB corresponds ZCB. So, we can say that triangle YAB is congruent to triangle ZCB. Note that triangle ZCB and triangle BCZ are the same triangle. You will remember that we can write the names of any polygon in different ways. Because vertex Y is corresponding to vertex Z, we can say that angle Y and angle Z are corresponding angles. Since the corresponding parts of a congruent triangle are equal, therefore, we can say that angle Y is equal to angle Z. If we trace this shape on the trace paper and fold it on its width in such a way that the fold passes through point B, that is, place triangle YAB on triangle BCZ, then we can see that angle Y fully covers angle Z, verifying that the measurements of both triangles are equal. Find out which triangles are congruent by looking at the measurements of the parts of the triangles given below. Discuss your answer with your friends or your teacher. Today we saw some interesting examples related to the RHS theorem congruency of triangles. In the next video, we will deal with some misconceptions related to it. Today we will see some misconceptions related to RHS theorem of congruency of triangles. Misconception 1. In the figure shown below, which theorem of congruence can prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR? Some children have the misconception that only the RHS theorem can be used to check congruency of right-angled triangles and none other can be used. In both the triangles, the right angle are equal. One arm is equal to the corresponding arm of other triangle and also the hypotenuse is equal. Observing that the RHS theorem is being used here, with this understanding, they choose option 2 as the answer, but it is an incorrect answer. Because here, all the three sides of triangle ABC are equal to the three corresponding sides of triangle PQR. Here, we can also use the SSS theorem. Therefore, the correct answer here is option 3. Some children choose option 1 in haste just by looking at the arms, but this is also an incorrect answer to the given question. Misconception 2. Find out whether triangle ABC and triangle LMN are congruent or not some children are aware of the RHS theorem but are unable to use it properly. Like here in triangle ABC and triangle LMN, we see that angle C is equal to angle L is equal to 90 degrees. AC is equal to LM is equal to 6 centimeter. And AB is equal to LN is equal to 10 centimeter. Realizing that both triangles are right-angled triangles and their two sides are equal, they assume that both triangles are congruent under the RHS theorem, and from this understanding they select option 1. But it is a wrong answer. Children do not read the given information properly. In triangle ABC, the right angle is at the vertex C. So, AC is the side of triangle ABC and AB is the hypotenuse of triangle ABC. You can find it out by making a rough diagram. Similarly, in triangle LMN, the right angle is forming at the vertex L. So we can say that both LM and LN are the sides of the triangle LMN and MN is the hypotenuse of this triangle. Here we do not know the measurement of a hypotenuse. We can find it with the help of Pythagoras theorem. Find out how this is done yourself. On finding this, we see that the measurement of one arm in both the triangles is the same, but the measurement of the hypotenuse is not equal. So using the RHS theorem here, we can say that these two triangles are not congruent. Therefore, option 2 is the correct answer. So today we saw some misconceptions related to RHS theorem of congruency